Welcome back to everyone. So in this class, let us discuss about nutrition in human beings. In this class, you can understand the alimentary canal and the process of digestion. Okay. So myself, Subhash Kumar, I have cleared my set in 2022 and I have teaching experience of 3+ years in biology. I think with all the experience that I have, I can make understanding the biology easy for you. Okay. So the first thing, the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal. What is alimentary canal? So the whole digestive system starting from the mouth till the anus is nothing but the alimentary canal. The human digestive system is a long tube. If you observe, right from the mouth it starts and it makes almost the resemblance like a tube. So this is all the tube from mouth to the anus. This tube known as the alimentary canal. So this tube is called as alimentary canal. Along with this tube, there are so many accessory organs which are not involved in the tube directly, but they makes a change in the process of digestion, like liver, gallbladder, pancreas and all. They are not directly involved in the tube. They are beside the tube and they are helping in the process of digestion. They perform different functions in the processing of food. So let us explore how the food travels through this system and its breakdown. So in the beginning step, the digestion directly starts in the mouth itself. How? Let us see. In mouth, there are 3 activities taking place. One is mechanical breakdown, second one is wetting food, and the third one is chemical breakdown. These 3 things happens in the mouth itself. So teeth crushes the food into small particles of similar texture, making it easier to process. So in the mouth, the food we eat will be chewed by us, right? During that chewing process, the larger particles of food will be divided into smaller particles of food. Okay. Second one is the wetting of food. With the help of the salivary glands, the food gets wet to ensure smooth passage through the soft lining of the canal. Remember this word, the soft lining. So as the food is traveling through the digestive system, it should have some free flow, right? So for that free flow, this wetting of the food makes sense, and that is done by the salivary glands. Along with the saliva, from the salivary glands, there is an enzyme called salivary amylase, and its function is to break the complex starch into simple sugar. You can be asked in your exams that where does the carbohydrate digestion starts? It starts in the mouth. Where does the process of digestion starts? It starts in the mouth. Okay. The esophagus and the peristalsis. What is peristalsis? The food moves through the food pipe or esophagus. After the mouth, the food has to go still inside. Mouth is not the ending point, but mouth is the starting point for the digestion. So after getting digested partially in the mouth, the food has to go to the other digestive parts. So for that, there is a long tube called esophagus. This part is called esophagus. Okay. So the food has to travel from the mouth through that tube. So while going from that tube, how the food has to go? As the esophagus is a muscular structure, it generally tends to get contracted. Okay. So as it is contracted, the food can't just free flow in it. So to make the food move forward, this peristaltic movement helps us. This movement is regulated to ensure the proper processing in each part. So almost all the areas of the alimentary canal perform this peristalsis, not only esophagus. Okay. So all this peristalsis has to do is to push the food forward. Okay. The lining of the canal has muscles that contract rhythmically, pushing the food forward, and these rhythmic contractions are called the peristaltic movements that occurs along the gut. They occur all along the gut. So If the same peristalsis occurs in the reverse way, what happens? Vomiting occurs. So that is anti-peristalsis or reverse peristalsis. The wave-like movement which pushes the food forward is called peristalsis. Now the digestion in the stomach. If you observe, it is a J-shaped organ. Okay. So the stomach is a large organ that expands when food enters. And digestion here is managed by the gastric glands, and those gastric glands produce HCl, the hydrochloric acid, which creates the acidic medium to favor the function of pepsin. So pepsin is an enzyme, and pepsin, a protein digesting enzyme active in acidic conditions. Pepsin works effectively only in acidic conditions. Mucus, which protects our stomach muscles from this HCl impact. As HCl doesn't know what it is acting upon, it may act on our stomach muscles also. So to prevent the stomach muscles from getting in contact with the HCl, this mucus layer helps, and that is the reason why you have to eat timely. If you are not eating timely, ultimately you may end up with ulcers. Ulcer is nothing but when this gastric juice touches the muscles get wounded. Those wounds are known as ulcers. Okay. Next, the small intestine structure. Small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal. In the alimentary canal, we can say the longest part is small intestine, which may be around 6 to 7 meters long, which is around 20 feet in its length. Okay, it is fitted into a compact space within the abdomen due to extensive coiling. You can see here the extensive coiling. It is regulated by the sphincter muscle at the stomach exit. So you can see a pyloric sphincter here. So it is a muscle actually which stops the flow of food again reverse into the stomach. Once the food got digested partially in the stomach, that food has to go to the small intestine, right? So in some cases, this food may come out of the intestine. So to prevent it, the pyloric sphincter plays a role there. And when it comes to length variations, the herbivores have a longer small intestine to allow cellulose to be digested. Why cellulose has to be digested in a long small intestine? Generally, the plants will have a cell wall and animals miss it. So it is very easy to get the contents from the animal cells than from the plant cells. So that is the reason why they need to be usually longer than the carnivores. The digestive system of the herbivores is much longer than the carnivores. Okay, carnivores have small intestine with shorter lengths because meat is easy to digest. Next, preparing for enzymes. This is done by the liver. So let us see the action of the liver now. Preparing for the enzymes. So in the stomach, the food is acidic because to facilitate the functionality of pepsin, and this bile juice works opposite to the HCl. Okay, the small intestine receives secretions from the liver and pancreas. Food coming from the stomach is acidic and must be made alkaline for the pancreatic enzyme to act. So the pancreatic juice won't work in acidic medium. It works in basic medium. But in the stomach, the food is already in the acidic medium. So its acidity should be changed to basicity. That is done by the bile juice. Secreted by the liver, it performs two key functions. Makes the acidic food alkaline, first function, and the second function is emulsification. Emulsification is simply nothing but the breakdown of larger fat particles into smaller fat particles. Okay, that is shown here. So the large globules into smaller ones for better enzyme efficiency. Cutting down of the fats into smaller particles is nothing but emulsification. This can be a 2 marks question. Now, what does the pancreas do? The pancreatic juice and enzymes. The pancreas secretes pancreatic juice containing crucial enzymes for protein and fat digestion. And these enzymes require the alkaline environment created by the bile. And these two enzymes released by the pancreas are trypsin, an enzyme responsible for the digestion of proteins. This is a long protein chain cut down into smaller proteinaceous chains. And the lipase, an enzyme responsible for the breakdown of emulsified fats. Okay, next. The glands in the walls of the small intestine secrete intestinal juice. Here comes the final digestion now. And in that final digestion, the glands in the walls of small intestine secrete intestinal juice. The enzymes in it finally convert the complex food components into simple absorbable molecules. Tell me now, what is the function of digestive system? What it has to do actually? Generally the food we take is of larger size, right? So that large sized food can't be absorbed directly into the blood, and you know the size of the cell. It is very small. To that smaller cell, the food particles that we take are too big. So to cut down the particles into smaller than the cells and giving it to the blood to circulate to all the cells to get energy there at the cells is the function of digestion. Okay. So what is the function of the digestive system? To break down the food particles into smallest possible particles in order to let them reach to the each and every cell of the body. So the proteins that we take are converted into amino acids, and the carbohydrates we take are converted into glucose, and the fats that we eat are converted into fatty acids and glycerol. So these are the absorbable forms by the body or cells. These are non-absorbable forms by the body. But when these gets transformed into these, body can accept and body can take it. Next, the absorption part. Structure and function of villi. What is villi? Villi are these finger-like structures that are in the small intestine are known as villi. And the villus is singular, villi is plural. Now you can see the surface of the small intestine, and if this surface is like this, the area of absorption is comparatively less. And in this same segment, same length, if the small intestine got folded, you can see there is a lot of surface area to absorb the food. So this is the function of villi. Villi are the finger-like projections that are present in the small intestine to increase the surface area of absorption. Okay, villi significantly increase the surface area for absorption. They are small finger-like projections in the small intestine. They are richly supplied with the blood capillaries. Okay, so they are richly supplied with the blood capillaries. Why? To send the food that is digested into the blood directly, and all body cells require energy, growth and repair, right? That will be done by the absorbed food through the blood vessels. Okay. Now what is the function of the large intestine? The absorption of water. The unabsorbed food is sent to the large intestine, and here the walls absorb more water and consolidating the waste. Generally the 100% digestion of food can't be done in any living organism. So there will be some leftover undigested food with water in it. So that water will be absorbed back by the large intestine, and the particulate matter will be consolidated and pushed out through the process of egestion. And here the anal sphincters play a major role. They are also muscles which regulate the movement of the bowel. The rest of the material is removed from the body via the anus, and the exit of this waste is regulated by the anal sphincter. Okay, next. So if you have any questions related to this, you can ask me in the comment section. So what all we have discussed till now? We have discussed about the function of digestive system, and we spoke about mouth, esophagus, small intestine and the accessory glands like liver and pancreas, and the large intestine, how the food is absorbed, and how the food which is undigested is excreted. So we have discussed all these things. If you have any doubts, ask me in the comment section, and in the next class let us talk about the respiration. If you have any doubts, you can email me through this email, or you can also visit the website. Okay, hope you have understood everything. Thank you.